Alright, episode 89, and originally, since how it's Halloween, this was supposed to be about El Chupacabra. But the minute I had the idea of doing that, I forgot. Don't get brain damage, kids. You forget things real quick. So today we're going to be talking about the fairy penguin, or the little penguin, or the blue penguin, or the little blue penguin, or any combination of that name. All of which are very fitting names, as they are blue, and obviously, they are little. As a matter of fact, they are the smallest of the penguins, only standing 12 to 13 inches tall and weighing 3.3 pounds. The blue coloring is actually an extreme version of something called counter shading. These penguins live 80% of their lives at sea, so appearing blue like the water from the sky, or white from the bottom like the surface of the ocean with the sun shining down upon it, makes them pretty much invisible to most predators that rely on sight. Now, they are also the only species of nocturnal penguin. This is due to their main natural predators being diurnal in New Zealand. There is also a slight difference between the branches from Australia and the ones from New Zealand, as there's a lot of predators that they had to contend with Australia, things like the Tasmanian devil, or the thylacine, or dingoes. So they would arrive in massive flocks to give them the numbers advantage. But I believe I am cutting into the history section of this video, so we're going to need to rehash a bit of history. A lot of it's going to be from the King Penguin video, but don't worry, it won't be much. The oldest common ancestor that we know of dates back directly after the extinction of the dinosaurs 66 million years ago. While we haven't found fossils dating directly back to that time, it is safe to assume that there were penguins that far back, as the oldest species that we have found is known as Waimanu, a 3.3 foot tall penguin from New Zealand. Interestingly, despite being significantly larger to our subject, this may indicate that the fairy penguin is actually a direct ancestor from the original penguins, though we cannot say for certain. Now, as for cultural influence, the nesting of the little blue penguin is a massive event in the areas they reside, as large groups of the birds, as I said, will waddle up onto the beach into their burrows that they made in the sandy soil to mate. These burrows are actually an interesting form of symbiosis. The burrows are dug into the soft soil, usually under the low-lying shrubs and grasses on the beach, which the roots of would help with the structural integrity of the burrows, while the phosphorus-filled penguin shit is actually a very helpful fertilizer for the plants. This is something that, with Thanksgiving coming around, many Americans may know the story of using fish to fertilize crops. Same thing. They're penguins. They eat fish. The fish is in the poo. I'm sure you can figure it out from there. The March of the Penguins is a great event for tourists and vacationers to gawk at as they enjoy the South Australian coast. One man by the name of Linus Torvalds, while enjoying his holiday, was pecked by one of the little creatures, and that apparently amused the software engineer and inspired him to use the animal as a mascot for his new operating system kernel, Linux. I mean, sure, dude. What other penguin could this possibly be but the little blue penguin? Though, before the time of computers, the animal filled a different role in culture. Fashion. Yes, unfortunately, the bright blue feathers for a long time in the 19th century were hunted for their feathers and wings, usually as decorations on hats and other fancy clothing. Now, seeing as there have been a plethora of protection acts passed for all penguins around the world, this once endangered blue penguin is now of least concern. Hooray! However, there are still many dangers to this pocket penguin. Notably, at sea, we have oil spills, plastic contamination, and improper net fishing. While people aren't actively trying to catch penguins, inexperienced fishermen can easily drown many penguins, on accident, of course. And unfortunately, when we get to threats on land, they're not having a great time. The human introduction of dogs, cats, foxes, ferrets, stoats, and Tasmanian devils to previously unoccupied lands has caused them and their eggs to be hunted by these foreigners. Unfortunately, though, you can't really blame them, as they're animals trying to survive just like any other. And if you're wondering why I made such a massive exhibit for these tiny guys, oops. It's kind of hard to actually tell how big of an exhibit I'm making comparatively to the animal until the animal is in there. But either way, this is a nice little quick episode for the end of October. I've been very, very busy with other events in life, so I kind of have to cut my time short with making these videos. I am doing my best with the time that I have, and hopefully as things resettle, I should be back to a more in-depth approach, as long as I have animals that are actually, in-depth to research. So if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, share, and subscribe. Obviously, same old. And until next time, go outside, touch grass, hug your loved one, drink water, have a safe Halloween, and stay spooky. Goodbye.